Hello, my friends. Welcome to my Christmas present. Oh my gosh. Do you want to know her name, or would you prefer to turn it into a little guessing game contest thing? Oh my gosh. I wouldn't exactly call her a ball of fire, but she's the most excitable one of the four that they had. None of them were really what you call super active. They were just, kind of moderate, and then she was just slightly above moderate. But I was looking for the most energetic and the most intelligent one, and JR says this one's it right here. So we will see if that's true or not. I don't know if that's true or not. Now, excuse me. Most of you have already heard me say I'm not a domestic animal person, and I'm not. This isn't changing anything, believe it or not. I like pups, I like dogs, I like horses, all that. I can't say I love them. I don't think I love them. I don't fall in love with them like lots of people do. I like them a lot, especially if they're helpful, and if they'll do what I ask them to do, and if I can train them up to be a real smart dog. I had Buck a few years back, and I trained him up to find my deer antler, and he was a pretty much constant companion here on the farm. Anywhere I went, he would, tag along, that kind of thing, and that's kind of what I'm looking for with this dog. I want to train her up to be helpful. Like if I drop something, I say, pick that up and bring it here, that kind of thing. Like if you were walking down a trail and your glove falls out of your pocket or something like that. And then she just knows to pick it up and bring it to you, that kind of thing. That's the kind of thing I'm trying to teach her. And she's... I don't know. She's not even quite 8 weeks old yet, and so you gotta make a lot of allowances at that age. She's an ankle biter like crazy. She just nips at your ankles all the time when you're walking, and obviously a puppy, very friendly little puppy. But let me put her on the ground here, and I'll tilt the camera down and put her through her paces. I don't know if the camera will show this. She's already laying down. That's not helping. Come here. Come over here. Come over here. Come over here. This is probably her favorite thing to do, is to pull on the towel right now. She enjoys that, but she's not overly enthusiastic about anything. She seems to enjoy it. Now yesterday, and she won't do it today, but yesterday I had her retrieving a deer antler, and she did it about 5 or 6 times in a row. But today she doesn't seem to want to do that. I'm trying to get her more excitable and trying to get her into playing more, and just trying to get her to relate to me, that kind of thing. And that's how you teach them. If you can get them where they like to play with you, then you got a chance to teach them something. Here you go. Can you pick it up? Bring it here. Nope, you're not going to do that, are you? I can tell already. You're not even hardly caring about it at all. Come on, bring it here, bring it here, bring it here, bring it here. Hey, you're not even listening. Okay. Well, of course she isn't going to do anything on camera. She does sit pretty good when you tell her to sit. Becca started her on that a while back already, and then pretty much on command she will sit. When you say sit, she just will sit. It's pretty good for not even 8 weeks old yet, and she's got a long way to go, and I hope it works out. I'm just telling you, I know some of you just hate me for this, but I can't fall in love with her. I mean, I like her. She's a nice little pup, and everything's going to be just fine. I don't mistreat them. I treat them right. I take them for walks. I walked her out at 4:30 this morning. You know what I'm saying? She'll get perfect care and all that. But it's just not me. I guess I had too many beatings as a child over animals, and I can't get past that, I guess. I don't know what the problem is, but that's just the way I am. I always saw animals as a commodity. You know, it was a way to make a living type thing. Now, that's not what I'm doing here. I'm not trying to make a living with her. I'm just trying to turn her into a real nice animal that would be, you know, very obedient, know a lot of different tricks, if you will, commands, whatever, and just be very helpful here on the farm. And if that works out, she'll stay my dog. If that don't work out, then Becca might take her back. Becca wanted this one specifically. She wanted me to have this one because she wanted to keep this one around here because this was her favorite. And that's the truth of it, so there you go. I didn't pick her out. They just gave her to me on Christmas evening, or no, it was Christmas Eve, actually. It was when we had our party here. Anyway, they gave her to me on Christmas Eve evening. And she's just laying like a rug on the floor. I was really kind of hoping for one a little bit more excitable. But according to JR, this was the most excitable of the bunch. She'll do fine. We'll make it work out. And I've been giving her treats, and you know she's been very well taken care of. And she will be an outside dog. I do not have dogs in the house, and then some of you will just hate that. But the truth is, we have a very nice garage with padded, things for them to lay on. She's already got a padded, I don't know what you call it, a dog cushion thing. She's already got that. And the garage is insulated and it's warm. And if it gets really cold, we have an electric heater in the garage that we turn on, so it never gets real cold. And she's already been used to staying outside the whole time. She's never been inside since she was born. She's been living out in a barn. So, I mean, the barn's definitely not as warm as our garage is. So there you go. So just so you understand, there's no mistreating going on. I just want to be clear because I know people go crazy over animals these days. And look at her. She's just curling. She's done. She's had all she wants. Oh, I played with her. Oops, the camera's not going to stay up here now. I played with her for about 10 minutes with that blanket, pulling for about 10 minutes, and I think it wore her out. She just laid out. So anyway, I do have several other things to show you and tell you. I did get another Christmas present from one of my wonderful viewers. This is Rod Wentler. He sent me this and then pulled this out, and it had this little box with this fancy wrapping on it. Well, you can see there it's got the Gibson mandolin on there and some details. It's so fine print I can't hardly read it, but with some glasses I sure probably could. And inside this was a pair of, I call them Knipex, and some people call them Knipex, and some people call them Knipex or Knipex. I don't care what you call them. They're just a really nice German-made pair of pliers, adjustable, very, very, very nice pliers. I love these things. These are a cross between a channel ox pliers and a crescent wrench, because you can adjust them and then the jaws stay parallel, so they're like a crescent wrench in that regard. And then you squeeze them here, and they're like a channel locks from that regard. So they're very, very handy pliers. So like if you don't have the right wrench, often these will substitute. Very, very handy. In addition, so thank you, Rod Wentler, for that. I really do appreciate it. And Rod has, for quite a long time, was the first one to check in. Now this morning he's number 3. So thank you, Rod. I really do appreciate it very much. I found some stuff over the weekend. I had a few minutes to metal detect. I'll start with the lesser stuff and work to the better stuff here. I found a couple of just shotgun shell head stamps, and these are old. These are very old. They're about 100 years old, or maybe older, anywhere from 1905 to about 1930. So is when those were made. So they couldn't have been dropped much later than that, I wouldn't think. Another thing I found was just a big old piece of what I would think is a cooking pot of some sort, some big heavy cast iron pot. That's what I think it is. Found another just nondescript piece of metal that I would say was off of some sort of stove, cooking stove or something, maybe. Maybe a regular wood stove, I don't know. Heavy cast iron piece. Just found your old file in the ground. This was probably 8 or 10 inches deep. And then it starts to get a little better. I found the back of a pocket watch. It's a silver plated, it wasn't a solid silver pocket watch. Now, curiously, somebody has scribed something in the back of this. I probably should have done this ahead of time. I'll draw what they scribed in here. I'll draw it real quick. It's curious. I'm just curious why they scratched this into the inside of this pocket watch. And I doubt it'll make sense to anybody else either, because it just doesn't make sense, but you can tell they did this. I don't know why they did it. What really is weird, and it's really weird, is that it reminds me of my tower stand that I built. That's what was scribed in the back of this. And it's there just as plain as day. Can you see it in there? Yeah, you can kind of see it, I think. And it's actually got this crosshatch in it also, which is hard to see, but it's there. Why would they have done that? That's stuff like that's what really, it's just, there was a reason for that. Why did they do that? Can't figure it out. Anyway, if you get an idea, let me know. It gets better and better, I think, or at least it does to me. Then I found this. Do you know what this is? This is what I would call a saddle concho. It's a large one. I mean, it's pretty big around. It's about roughly 2 inches in diameter, probably 25 millimeters, something like that. And these two holes were where little leather straps went through, and you tied things onto your saddle. She's still just dead to the world. She's just laying there sleeping. Anyway, so this was, a saddle concho. So, having found so much Civil War stuff, I immediately went to the Civil War sites and looked up saddle conchos and things and for Civil War saddles, and I didn't find anything that looked just like this, so I doubt it's Civil War. It's probably just off of some old work saddle, or possibly even off of some sort of harness. I don't know. Interesting. Like I said, I think this gets better and better. So here's another. I got two more. Now this one, we found these before here, but this one's different. And I'll tell you why I think it's different. First of all, see how lightweight it's made? It's very thin metal. It's not heavy-duty metal. This ring is pretty much wore out in places, in two different places. And, you can see how it's, it was made open, and, this ring here is pretty lightweight. So I thought, well, why would they have made it so lightweight? Because a horse would break that. I'm pretty sure a horse, even if this was new, I'm pretty sure a horse could break this. So I got to thinking, I think it's one of those deals. Now, also for size comparison, I can take my fingers are skinny. I can take 3 of my fingers and slide them in here almost all the way to the end. And, so it's not very big around. It's an 1.8 inches, maybe 1.25 inches at the most. Again, kind of lightweight. A horse would probably break that if it was wood. So I think it's one of those deals that went over a person's neck with the wood, where they had it cut around your neck like a collar, and then they held buckets of water on each side. And they carried buckets of water or, something heavy on each side. And that's what I think it is. But I don't know that for sure. If you guys have a better idea, or if you think I'm just all wet on that, no pun intended, with buckets of water, then just say so. Put it in the comments, whatever you think it might be. Pretty cool. I haven't found one like that. Then this is the coolest one to me, and when I show it to you, you're just going to go, huh? This is cool? Yeah, after I tell you what it is, I think you'll think it's cool. Okay, right here. And it's got threads in it. So do you know what this is? Most people will look at it and go, some kind of plumbing fitting, pipe fitting, something like that. And that's not what this is. This is the end cap on a wagon axle, like on a wagon, with wagon wheels. And what's really cool about this one, what makes it even a little more special, is because it has an L on it. I don't know if you can see the L right there, but it comes down and goes across, right here, down and across. And that means it's left-handed threads. And it is left-handed threads. This goes on the left side of the wagon. If you put it on the right side, it'll twist it. Well, you can't put it on the right side because the right side has right-handed threads. But anyway, you have to screw these on the left side because it has left-handed threads, and then that way the rotation of the wheel keeps this on. If you don't do it that way, like if you put right-handed threads on the left side, then as you're driving forward, it will unscrew the wheel. Unscrew this nut, and the wheel will fall off. So that's why they did this, and I think that's really cool. And I've confirmed the threads are left-handed in this, so that's pretty cool. Definitely history. I'll tell you a real quick side story on left-handed threads. That old 57 dump truck I have, the 1957 Ford F350, it's F350, I think it is, or is it F300? I don't know. I think it's 350. Anyway, it's a 1957, and it's got left-handed lug nuts and lug bolts on one side of the truck. Well, it turned out a bunch of them were broke, and I was having to repair the whole thing. So I thought, why bother with these left-handed things? I'm going to put right-handed. Now these are lug nuts. This is not the part that's spinning. So I thought I'll just change them to right-handed. Why mess with this left-handed stuff? So I did. Guess what? The wheels came off. Twice. I have no explanation for that. But obviously, they knew what they were doing, and they made them left-handed for a reason, obviously. So I went and bought new left-handed lug bolts, put them back in there, never had any more trouble with it. Why don't cars these days have to do that? I don't get that. I don't get that at all. So can somebody explain that one to me? That's kind of like I know the explanation for what I'm going to say, but it's kind of like this to me. It's like, we know heat rises, but yet it's cold on top of a mountain. And I know the reason for that. You don't have to tell me. But that's kind of the way this is. It's like it don't make sense. It still don't make common sense, Now, I get it on the axle because the whole wheel's spinning. The whole wheel's spinning. This is the center thing that's spinning. I get it on an axle. But I don't get it on the lug nuts. They're not spinning. But it don't work to put right-handed ones on that truck. I can tell you that for sure. Anyway, there you go. I'm done. And so she's still laying there. Do you guys want to know her name, or would you prefer to guess on it and make it into a little contest thing for the next day or two? I'm going to leave that up to your comments here. And if most of you say you want to know the name, I'll tell you the name right now. So anyway, we'll start at the top here. We got Christia Thomason was the first one from North Carolina. Chuck Heidbreder from St. James. Yeah, it's not a bad morning here. It's in the 30s here too. Rod Wintler there, of course, from Berkeley, California. And he's the one that sent me this wonderful Knipex pliers. Thank you very much. German made. Those are just awesome. And Larry Fisher from Central Kansas. We had a snow on Christmas Day. Well, we didn't. We had shirt sleeve weather. It's been very warm here the last few days, which I can't really complain about. I mean, it would be nice to have a little snow on Christmas and then go away. But, it's pretty hard to complain with warm temperatures as much firewood as I have to cut. So I'm counting it as a blessing. C. Will's chick is Berkshire, Massachusetts. Bruce Ducker and Nancy I can't see the name. Milosky? I'm just going to call it that. Merry Christmas, she says. And Nancy then says, while we are waiting, we go out of chat and press the like button. Yeah, very cool. Thank you, Nancy. Nice idea. Bill Mumbo. Hi, Jerry. How does a pirate know they are a pirate? They think, therefore, they are. They are. Yep, very good. Very good. Christia Thomason. 4 beautiful does in my backyard this morning. Yeah, cool. During that whole deer season, I only saw one doe on the very first morning, and I didn't want to shoot her because I thought, well, I'll just, no point in ending my fun here on day one. I'll just wait and shoot one later in the week. Never saw another one. I saw a baby doe later, but I didn't want to shoot that. Bruce Hines. Good morning, Jerry from... She got up and moved, but she laid back down under my feet. See, Christia Thompson, I read that one. Bruce Hines, and then Zappa. It says hit the like button. Okay, after we went live, Marigold time. Greetings from Sweden. Feeding the new furnace or the puppy? Yeah, it's the puppy, of course. And I'm just going to move on down. Brian Byler, the Dirty Knobs, Kathy Voles, and Zappa again. Matthew Morton, and looks like here, Christia Thompson. Is that one of Piney's pups? Yep, that's right. That was one of Piney's pups. This is just me talking. You can feel free to have a totally different opinion. In my opinion, in terms of dogs, the females are the best hunting dogs. They're great for hunting. You can't hardly find a better hunting dog than a female dog. For training and for tricks and, just general intelligence, if you will, generally the males are the smarter of the breed. Or they seem to me that way. Now, for instance, and the proof would be Lassie was a male, Ren 1010, Benji, the dog my dad had, Sonny, was a male. I really don't recall really, really smart female dogs. Now, that's not to say they can't be pretty darn smart, but generally, the smarter of them are males. So I kind of wanted the male pup that they had. Now, it was the off-color one. It was the light tan colored or whatever color it was, yellow, tan, something. And, that's kind of the one I wanted. But JR said it was really lazy, just really laid around, didn't do anything. So this one was the most fireball of the 4. So this is the one I got. And we'll see what happens. That's all I know. It's not to say you can't make a smart dog out of the females. I mean, they'll be really smart too. But generally, the ones that are just a cut above are generally the males on the intelligence thing. Now, the females make the best hunting dogs. If I was raising this dog to be some kind of a hunting dog, and I will teach her that too. I will teach her to tree squirrels and things like that. And she'll do great at that kind of thing. I'm just positive. And if you've been watching Joseph Carter, he trains a lot of animals. He trains mink and he trains his dogs, and he's got Bindi is a female, and man, he has really turned that dog into something special. That Bindi, if you haven't watched Joseph Carter with Bindi, oh man, that dog is just really, really smart. He can tell it to go find his 2 different daughters. He'll say, he'll name them by name. He'll say, find so-and-so, and the dog will go find so-and-so, and then he'll say, find the other one, and then he'll go find the other one. I mean, she's that smart. She's really a smart little dog, and that's a female. So, it's not to say you can't really work with him and turn him into something, and he definitely has. He's got a gift for training animals. There's no doubt about that. He's really good at training. I have trained a lot of animals in my life, mostly horses and, a few dogs. But Sonny was an absolute exceptional dog that my dad had. Way above and beyond anything I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything like Sonny. I mean, Rin Tin Tin and Lassie would be dumb by comparison, and I'm not kidding about that. I mean, like this, Sonny was so smart. Dad never taught him anything. He just said, "Sonny, go pick up those sticks and put them over there in that blue truck." He'd go pick up the sticks and jump up in the back of the truck and put them in there. I mean, he would. He was just that kind of dog. He was as smart as anything you ever saw. I never seen anything like it. And he'd do that with anything. You know, like if like Dad would have horses in the back. We had 700 acres leased on Highway 109 in Eureka, Missouri. And 700 acres, a lot of ground. We got 280, and it'd take you most of the day to walk this. So 700 acres is a lot. Well, the horses weren't anywhere to be seen, you know. And so, like, if Dad was taking a buyer out to buy a horse, he'd just say, "Sonny, go get the horses and bring them back here." And Sonny'd take off. He'd go off over to 3 or 4 hills, you know, away. And in a few minutes, it would maybe be 5 minutes. Here he'd come back, and all the horses would be there, you know. He'd come chasing them over the hill. Sonny was an incredibly smart dog. I've never seen a dog like Sonny, ever. Not ever. It's just one of a kind. So, you know, I have that as my basis of comparison. And so it's really tough for any other dog to measure up. It really is. So I try hard. And like I said, I had Buck. He was here, and he found my deer antler, and he was a pretty smart dog. And we, you know, pretty much hung out the rest of his life, you know, that kind of thing. And that's what I anticipate with this one, but I don't know. You know, I don't know. I just want you guys to understand the boundaries here, because my boundaries are pretty much set in stone. They're not, I don't fall in love with them like everybody else does. And that's just the sad truth. And I'm just telling you so you'll understand, you know. So if I do get rid of her down the road, it's for that reason. And she'll go to a good home if I do. You know, but I'm hoping to keep her. I mean, I'm planning to keep her, you know, but I just want you to know if it don't work out, she probably won't be staying here long. Either Sue will just take her over, or she'll go back to Becca. Probably. One of the two. Just letting you know up front so that you know what the score is. Well, thanks, Zappa. To properly train a dog, you got to be smarter than the dog. Well, on you too. Anyway, will I be doing videos of training her? Yes, I will. That's one of the reasons, quite honestly, I wanted to do this was to make some real nice videos for you guys. I think you'll enjoy it. I think it'll be fun. And I think it's going to work out just fine. But, you know, I'm trying to be positive about it. But like I said, doesn't demonstrate the kind of excitement, interest that I think she should at this age. Little low on that. But I'm trying to work with her on that too. See, that's part of the reason that I take this towel and I've been dragging her around with this towel, you know, and that's why she's so tired now, because I've been playing with her all morning, you know, and trying to get her excitement level up and her ability to play and that kind of thing. So anyway, we'll just see how it goes. I'm making no promises. I'm just telling you like it is. I just want to be as truthful as I can be with you guys. I haven't seen anybody comment whether you want to know her name yet. Let's see. I think she will grow into those feet eventually. Yeah, she's got really big feet for a small pup. She really does. And for you, those of you who don't know, I think most of you do know, she's a Labradoodle. A Labradoodle is a cross between a Labrador and a Poodle. And they're supposed to be pretty smart dogs, you know, and generally your crosses are smarter anyway in dogs. If you get a purebred dog, often they're not quite as smart. I'm not saying that's true either 100%. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying if you're going with the odds, your hybrid dogs or your crossbred dogs are typically your smarter dogs. Just kind of the way it is. You don't have to agree with me. Yeah, my truck's a 350. He says it's either a 350 or a 450. I know it's not a 450. I know it's a. I couldn't remember if it was a 300 or a 350, but it's an F3 something for sure. It's a 1-ton. Let's see. Ben Boyd, might the lightweight metal yoke be possibly used for securing slaves during transport? Yeah, I guess that's a possibility. I actually kind of thought about that, but I don't think so because of this thing here. It would be a different mechanism to lock around an ankle or something like that, and so I do not think that's what this is. But that did cross my mind. But no, I really do think my think is that it's for a human to carry water or a heavy load. Because you've seen those back in the old days. They used to do that a lot. They made a wooden thing that actually sat on your shoulders, and it had a cutout around your neck, and it had two arms that stuck out, and then you balance 2 buckets of water, and you have a hook on it, and you put that hook on your pails, and then you just carry 2 buckets at a time. And back then, you have to understand they walked down to the spring to get their water, so kind of makes sense. Wouldn't surprise me if that's what this is. Moving down. Let's see, Dirty Knobs. Dodge had left-hand threads on one side too in the 60s. Yeah, most of the really old vehicles did. I don't know exactly why on lug nuts though. I get it on the axle. Just makes perfect 100% sense on the axle. In fact, I had to do left-handed threads on my sawmill. The rollers that are spinning the blade is going one direction. Well, it would unscrew them if you put right-handed threads on it. So I put left-handed threads, no problem at all. So I completely changed it and made it left-handed threads. I get it on something that's spinning. Lug nuts themselves aren't spinning as the vehicle's moving, but yet they come off if you put right-handed ones on that truck. I cannot explain that. I don't. The common sense doesn't go there for me on that one. I can't figure that one out for nothing. If anybody does get that and can explain it, I would love to know it, because I just don't get that one at all. Kim Williford. Good morning, Jerry. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I hope you had a wonderful day with family. Yes, we had a wonderful time. It was great, and I hope everybody else did too. Yeah, this world's in such a sad shape that, boy, Christmas with family and stuff is more and more important. Man, there's so many things wrong in the world right now. It's messed up. I don't want to make it political. I don't like to get into politics at all. But, man, it's messed up. It's just messed up in so many different ways. The wars, the economy, and some people are saying the economy's better. Well, I ain't seeing those signs of that. And, and then all the border crossings. I mean, we're having like full cities of people crossing the border. I mean, 10,000 people in a day, that's a whole city. And you can't do that every day. How long can you sustain stuff like that? I mean, it's ugly. The whole country's messed up. China says they're going to take Taiwan back. That ain't good either. I mean, it's just messed up. This world is really in sad shape right now. It's got me worried. I'm not a prepper, but by gosh, I'm getting close. I'm getting close. Let's see. Robert says it's 60 degrees in, Panama City, Florida. It's not that warm here, but it's going to be probably warm today, I would imagine, the way it looks. The sun's out, and it's, started off in the 30s, so I imagine we'll get in the 40s or maybe 50s. Like I said, I don't ever look at the weather. I never do. Never, ever do. Molly would be a good name. Tell us now. Okay, well, you're the first one to say so I'm going to tell you. Her name is Sadie. Sadie. I thought that was a cool name. My daughter came up with that. My daughter, Lisa, my oldest daughter, when they gave her to me, Saturday evening, almost instantly, Lisa said Sadie, and I said, oh, well, that's a good name. I like that name. And then Becca loved the name too. And Becca's all about names. And she really liked that name, so it stuck. So Sadie is her name. Molly would have been good too. Yeah, it would have been good. That would have been a good name. Yeah, Ricky Ball says, thanks for the videos. You sure are welcome. You sure are welcome. MFC. Every time I see MFC, for whatever reason, it reminds me of MFK, which is a game call company, and except that it's made for killing. So every time I see this MFC, I instantly go there. I don't know why. So now you know what you're reminding me of every time I see your name. The reason there are left-hand nuts on truck has to do with the size of the wheel and the hub, as I understand it. Larger weight and circumference makes difference, as well as the angular force. Yeah, it's got to be something like that. I kind of get what you're saying, but I can't put my finger on exactly what it is. You know, I mean, I really can't. I would have thought. In fact, if I was going to bet on it, I would have bet $10,000 that right-handed lug nuts would work on that truck. I would have bet that much. That's how confident I was, and I'd have been wrong. I'd have lost my $10,000 because it don't work. I tried it twice, and I finally said, well, I can't do this. I put the left-handed ones on there, and it works perfect. And this is just driving it here on the farm. Can you imagine taking that out on the road? Those wheels would have just went flying down the highway. Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah. Anyway, I just don't get that. Marigold says, my grandfather only had female hunting dogs, English setters. Yeah, females are great hunting dogs. And, I would assume, and it's an assumption, I don't know, I would assume it's for feeding their offspring, their pups, They have to have that hunting instinct, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like the female lions or the real hunters. Not that the males don't hunt and kill, but the females are the ones that really provide the lion's share, if you will, for the pride. And that's kind of the way it is with the female dogs. I mean, I think it's hands down females are the better hunting dogs. Almost guarantee it. Now, it's not to say you can't find good male hunting dogs. There are good male hunting dogs. But, it's just as a whole. I'm talking in general terms is what I'm talking. Poodles are the smartest as half a lab. She'll never stop bringing you stuff. Yeah, exactly. And that's a little bit concerning as we have the chickens. I hope she doesn't be bringing me a chicken. So we'll have to train her about all that kind of stuff and what to leave alone. Just like Joseph Carter. He has trained his dogs to kill the rats and leave the minks alone. I don't see how he did that. Because the minks are running right in there in the holes with the rats and everything, and those dogs never bite at the mink, and they'll nail those rats every time. So I gotta go to school on him on this training deal because he really is a good trainer. Christia says she'd like to know her name too. So yep, that is it. That's Sadie. I thought that was a pretty good name for her. And I've never owned a dog named Sadie or a horse named Sadie, or I've never even really known a real human named Sadie that I can remember anyway. So Sadie seemed like a unique name to me, but I know other people know of Sadies, and I know there are lots of dogs named Sadie, but I've never had one or been around one. Kathy Volts, just guessing her name is Mandy, after mandolin. Hell, that would have been a good choice. I named Buck because I wanted him specifically to find my deer antler. Now I'm going to train her to find deer antler also, but it's not as intense as it was with Buck because it was very important when I was working on the instruments all the time. And there's J.R. Homestead Horsemanship. That's for holding up the team pole between a team. I have one. The team pole between a team. Well, that's a possibility, I guess. But it seemed like this would be turned wrong. You'd want you'd want this turned between the horses, wouldn't you? The pole would go through here. You might be right. You might be right. So my son JR says this is for holding up the pole between a team of horses, and maybe he's right on that. I could get that. But if I was me designing it, I would have turned this the other direction, and so that because the leather would be going through here or something. It don't make sense. Again, that could be what it is, but it isn't designed very well if that's what it is, in my opinion. Unless there was some technology that I'm not familiar with there, and maybe there was. Zappa, Jerry, did the old lug nuts have a taper on them? If not, maybe that is why they were left threads. Taper. There was no taper on them. I mean you mean the inside? Yeah, I know what you're saying. The taper that would go down inside the wheel. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a taper on them. Pretty positive of that. Not 100% sure, but I'm pretty positive there was. Pretty sure. Pontiac had left-hand threads in the 60s too. Yeah, a lot of the old vehicles did. Especially back in the 40s, 30s. Places like that. And I just thought that maybe on that old truck, I just thought maybe it was a carryover from back in the wagon wheel days. Where they had left-handed threads. And honestly, that's what I thought. Now, I get it on the axle. It makes perfect sense on the axle, but it just don't make sense on the lug nuts. Anyway, it just is what it is. Do we get together with friends and play Christmas music during the holidays? Back in the day, we probably did, a little bit, but these days now, we see each other every Tuesday night, and that's pretty much all we do is the Tuesday night things. And we've been playing our Christmas music now for ever since December rolled around. So, we've kind of wore it out, to be honest with you. Christia Thomason, Sadie is a fine name. Well, thank you. Marigold's asking how Oliver likes to babysit the foals. And let's see, Simon Jardine says, further to a question I asked a couple of months ago, Jerry, would oak be a good substance for a bridge, an instrument bridge, since it's so hard? Would it be good for sound transfer? No, I honestly don't think oak is ever a good choice. I really don't. I don't think oak has any place on an acoustic instrument at all. Zero, none, not any. I wouldn't even use it, honestly, for a neck block or anything. I really wouldn't. I just don't like it for an instrument, acoustic instrument. It has no tonal quality whatsoever. It really doesn't. It's just as dead as a doornail. So if it were me, if I was going to choose a domestic wood for like a bridge, I have already used Osage orange, which is very, very hard. I wouldn't hesitate to use something like persimmon, possibly even something like apple. For sure, I would use sycamore. Sycamore is a very good transfer sound. But if you're looking for a domestic wood, I'd use something more like that. Walnut would be like the lowest. Walnut would be the lowest I would go. I mean, honestly, I think you could do it with walnut, but it wouldn't be my first choice out of the domestic woods. It would be my last choice out of the domestic woods for a bridge. Yeah. So anyway, that's the best I got. I just don't think oak works at all on an acoustic instrument. That's just me. JR saying Princess would not kill our cats, but would kill strays. She also killed 2 turkeys, but would leave chickens alone. Okay. Well, this one here, I'm going to try to train her to not mess with chickens and things. In fact, I'm going to try to desensitize her to it by, walking her in there and walking her around the chickens and stuff, and scolding her whenever, as she gets a little older. She's a little bit young yet, but it's really good to start very young. She's still on the ground here. I'm not kidding you. She hasn't moved. I must have wore her out. I thought I needed to wear her out a little bit because she's just going to be too hyper here when I was trying to make the video. She must have heard me talk about her. She just raised her head up. Let's see. Moving on down. The taper on a lug nut is to centralize the wheel. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, and exactly. And I'm pretty sure those wheels have that. When the heavy wheel is braked, the forces tend to spin the nuts off. I'll be darned. Yeah, I don't know. I don't discard what you're saying. It's just I just have my time wrapping my head around the physics of it. Why that does that? It just makes no sense really. The dirt knobs. I'm surprised they didn't safety wire the nuts using backwards S so the hold tight like an aircraft. Yeah, well, we're talking pioneer days. They probably hadn't thought about that. But like I said, because the wheel, you don't back wagons up very much. I mean, a little bit, So you're always going one direction, and so as long as it's always tightening, you're fine. It won't come loose. It could only tighten so much. It would tighten down to a stopping point, and it would stay tight because the wheels are keeping it, tightened the whole time. Like ordinarily, this would be tight. I'd be turning it this way, but the wagon's going this way, and this is on the left side. So this is loosening. This would normally be loosening, but on this, because it's left-handed, this is tightening. See, that's the thought behind it, in case you didn't get that. All right, moving on. Considering your canine expectations and personal activity level, you might be better fit for a Border Collie if Sadie doesn't work out. Border Collies are active. Yeah, and we've had those too over the years. Yep, we've had all kinds of dogs, really. My dad mostly specialized in beagles. But over the years, we had a little bit of everything, and we had a boxer. His name was Caesar. He was, of all the dogs we ever had, he was probably my favorite dog. He just was a really good old, and we had him as a pet when I was a kid, and he would go out and kill copperheads left and right. He was good at killing copperhead snakes. Cats and Dolls says, Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. Times Square, New York. Wow. Mark Nasdam. Yolanda and I rescued a golden doodle. We named her Biscuit. That's a cute name. Dirty Knobs. I hate oak too. Brian May from Queen used for his fretboard. Yeah, I mean, I guess if I was gonna use oak on something, the fretboard would probably be my choice. Now that you say that, or maybe the peghead veneer. But I just wouldn't use it on the acoustic part of the instrument, especially on an acoustic instrument. On an electric instrument, it really wouldn't matter too much. It's just that oak is super heavy. So one fellow that was coming here to learn a few tricks and tips from me years ago. He built his electric guitar out of oak, and I swear it took 2 men and a boy to pick it up. I mean, it was so stupid heavy. It was ridiculous. So I wouldn't even use it for an electric guitar if it was me. But that's just me. The conversation about a suitable wood is eye-opening. Yeah, for an acoustic instrument especially. First of all, and this, some of you might call this snobbish. I don't care what you call it. It's just, to me, it's factual. Acoustic instruments are crazy hard to build. They're really much harder to build than an electric instrument. yeah, I don't mean this as a slight, it's just a fact. I could build you an electric guitar start to finish in one afternoon. I know I could. Black and white, guarantee you I bet $10,000 on it that I could do it. Because I know I could. In one afternoon, I could build you a complete electric guitar. I can't hardly build any part of the acoustic guitar in one afternoon. You know what I'm saying? They're so much harder to build. So if you just put that in perspective about how difficult it is to build an acoustic guitar, why? Just use the common sense again. Why would you consider using anything except the very best, most optimum acoustical wood? You spend the big bucks, get the good wood, and build your guitar. Because you're going to work your tail off building that acoustic guitar. Electric guitars, and again, I'm not trying to slight them. That's not what my point is. They're so much easier to build than an acoustic guitar. There's hardly a comparison at all. And so that's my point, is if you're going to build an acoustic, use the right stuff, do your homework, don't cut corners on your acoustic, or you'll hear it for sure. And you'll hate yourself for doing it, for cutting corners. The dirty knobs. I only use left-handed screws on my mandolin. That's where tone comes from. Okay, I'll just give you that one. Kim Williford. Dogs have extra senses. They can sense paranormal things. They might sense Bigfoot. You didn't have to bring that up with my son watching this, did you? Zappa. Put your safety glasses on. Okay, for what reason? I'm not sure why, but is it because she's going to scratch my eyes out? Right now, she's not moving. She's just laying here at my feet. I'm not kidding you. She ain't even moving. She's not even breathing, man. She's just laying there perfectly still. I thought I'd get her to do something for you and I could show her actually doing a set or something, but she's not doing anything. Come on. Here. Let's play. Let's play a little bit and see if we can show them you can do something. Come on. Come on. Bite it. You're not even trying. She's wagging her tail. She's happy, but she's not doing anything. Come on over here. Come on. The darn camera is not going to cooperate. Come here. Come over here. Come here. Get it. Come on. Roar, 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 roar. This is her favorite thing to do, is to pull. She likes to do that, but that's about it. Come on, pull. Roar, roar. Here, can you get this? Here, let go. Okay, here, can you get this? Nope. Bring it here. Pick it up. Bring it here. Pick it up. I'm not kidding you. Yesterday, at least 6 times, she went quite a distance, picked it up, and brought it back to me, like about 5 or 6 times in a row. And I thought, man, I've already got her trained, Not so much today. Come here. Come on. She listens really well. Come on. Come here, Sadie. Come here. Do you want it or not? I got a treat for her. She's just sitting there looking at me like, usually she does. Come. All right, sit. Now sit. No, not lay down. All right, put your head down in shame. Just put your head down in shame. Okay, here. You want this treat? You can have your treat. Oh my gosh. I got my work cut out for me. But That may be exactly what I need. I may need a dog that's that relaxed, to do what I want to do. I just don't know. We'll just see. We'll just see. She seems like a really good-natured little pup, and we'll just see how it goes. That's all I can tell you. I'm telling you though, I just want everybody to be clear. I'm making no promises. I will work with her and work with her a lot until we either accomplish something or we have to give up. One of the two. And she is a pretty dog. Someone says, Kim Wilford says that. Let's see, I'm catch back up here. Rexer Tech says, I have a Guild 12 string that had a bridge lift and non-flat top. I used a bridge doctor during the repair. What do you think of using a bridge doctor? Well, I used them a couple of times, but I took them back out. I didn't like what they did to the tone. If you've got a real good ear and you're really into acoustic instruments, you can tell that they just knock the heck out of your tone. And they just don't have the same ring, the same tone. They do what they're supposed to do. Bridge doctors do fix the top. They do what they say they do. But they don't help your tone at all, in my opinion. That's just, you ask, and I'm telling you, I ain't going to lie to you. I feel very strong about that too, and I know that would just make Bridge Doctor just as mad as a hornet if they heard me say that, but the truth is, I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't like what it does to your tone. Bill Webb, good morning, Jerry. Hope you had a Merry Christmas. And you too, Bill, and everyone else on here too. Kim Williford says, pretty dog. Okay, Marigold Time. Maybe Bigfoot delivered presents with Santa since you said they shack off-season. So, what is the off season for Bigfoot? Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm pretty sure that every season is off season for Bigfoot. Like I told you, I don't believe in Bigfoot at all, not this much. And I don't think JR does either. He just wants to pretend like he does. I'm pretty sure. But he does like to talk about it, man. I don't know. Gotta fly Lee. Yes, she is doing something while she sleeps. She is growing. Ha ha ha. Yep, that's for sure. And she's probably going to get to be a pretty big dog, the way it looks. Larry Fisher. Jerry, have you had any experience with ironwood? Not very much at all. No, not very much at all. No. I know what it is. I can almost identify it, honestly, out in the woods, but I'm not even good at identifying ironwood, honestly. I've seen it before, though. Christina Thomason, Jerry, did you already break your new puppy toy? She really is a cute girl. Yeah, she's a little cutie. I mean, now she's actually playing. She's got the rag there, dragging it around and shaking her head and stuff. Here, I'll get it. Come on. She's not doing much. All right, I throw it over the top of her head. She likes that when she has to shake it off. All right, let's see. Let me read these last couple here. Okay, well, speaking that other language again. I'm done. Thanks, guys, for checking me out this morning here, and we will. You'll see a lot more from Sadie down the road. So we'll be making some training videos before long. And it's like I just needed one more thing. You know what I mean? That was my only hesitation in taking her, is honestly, I'm so busy. I did start on some of the stuff I have to do before I can build the addition on this building. It's compounded. It's not that I'm quitting on the water wheel. I really want to get back to that. But I also want to run this cable up to the house. Well, in order to run the cable up to the house, there were several things I had to do at the end of the building here. So I took down a tree over the weekend. I'm got the backhoe on, so I'm going to start digging a trench across there, put in new culvert pipe, and then I'm going to run pipe out to the creek so I can run the conduit up to the house. And it's just not easy being me. I'm telling you. I've told you that before. You just don't believe me. Swedish killed the vlog. Have a great day from MFC there. Not to be confused with MFK. Y'all take care. We will see you with something tomorrow.